Hey, welcome back to Sweetpea's Flips. This is Sweetpea's dad, Brian here. Just had to run out to the shed to take some stuff out that we bought at flea market. In this video, we're going to talk about something that hasn't happened to me in quite some time, and that's getting a policy violation on eBay. I enjoy selling on eBay, so I try to walk the straight and narrow, as far as my listings go. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my account or anything like that, and it was just an honest mistake. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with every little policy that eBay has, and I learn from it and I'll move on. And it's hotter than blazes out here in Pennsylvania right now. I think today was 96 with a real feel of over 100, and the humidity's pretty high. So I also grabbed this. This is a Fenton thumbnail handkerchief vase, amberina color. I'm going to list that on eBay. And then we'll go over some stuff that's been selling, what we sold the last couple days, week or so, 10 days. Then we'll talk about this policy violation and what it was, and, what the listing was that it was on. So let's go in the office where it's a little bit cooler. So we're in the office where it's a little cooler. We're going to get into a couple things that sold recently for us, and then we'll talk about this policy violation. Our first item we sold is this really awesome, get out of the glare, this really awesome ET board game. It's new, sealed. We actually got this at a flea market. The guy had different tables set up at different price points. Like everything on this table is $5, everything on this table is $2, etc., etc. So this was on the $2 table, and I pulled this out, and it's in excellent condition. The shrink wrap's in good shape, and we actually sold that for $39.99 plus shipping. So $2 into 40 is a pretty good deal in my opinion. So, and then the next thing we sold is this Game Commission patch for the Pennsylvania Game Commission. We actually got this at a thrift store. It was last fall. They had a bag of them, like a big, gallon Ziploc bag in their display case. And it was $60. And I got probably, I think 64 or 65 patches. All different years, different things, like there's a deputy wildlife conservation officer patch. There's just a bunch of different Pennsylvania Game Commission patches. So yeah, it was 64 or 65 patches for $60. So I'm into these for less than $1. And this one's headed out of here at $14.24 on a send offer, free shipping. So that'll be easy to ship. I'll put this in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll put that in a padded envelope and ship that out. And then we sold this egg thermometer. I got this in a box lot at an auction for just a couple bucks. It's probably based on the 2-digit telephone number. I'm gonna say it's probably from the 40s, 50s maybe. And Liverpool, Pennsylvania, that's a town that's probably 25 minutes from us, where we're located. But it's in pretty good shape. Little dent there at the top. But I'm into this for probably less than $2. And that's headed out of here for $39.99 plus shipping. So that was a good little pickup. And the next thing I sold is this Griswold number 8 cast iron round griddle. It's in beautiful condition. I usually pay about between $60 and $80 for this particular piece. And this one's headed out of here for $139.99 plus shipping. And like I said in my first video, the previous video to this one, cast iron's like a passion of mine. It's been my niche for a long time. Even now that we're everything sellers, I still buy a lot of cast iron. I just really enjoy it. We cook with it. We use it here, you know, in our daily life. And I don't mind paying up for it because I know what I can get out of it once I clean it and re-season it. So about this policy violation, over the years, my listings have changed, you know, in how I list, you know, what I put in the description and things like that. And when we got back into reselling, we made social media accounts for our business, like a Facebook page, an Instagram, you know, then later on a YouTube, TikTok, things like that. And, you know, I would put in the description, you know, I would describe the item, you know, any flaws, whatever, condition, things like that. And then I started putting in my listings. Be sure to follow us on our social medias at Sweetpea's Attic on Facebook and Sweetpea's Attic 1 on Instagram. You know, just trying to draw people to our social medias, help grow them. And I've put them in there for, man, well over a year with no issue. And I eventually stopped doing it just because it got to be a pain. And just, I'm not really sure why I stopped, other than it was just a pain to have to put that in there all the time. So I got a notification the other day about a listing was removed for a policy violation. I'm like, I wonder what that was all about. So I got on my account and looked, and here it was an ashtray for a hotel I had listed for well over a year. And what's weird is like that listing got flagged, but I had like 30 other listings that had that information in it, you know, about our social media accounts. And I can see eBay's point, you know, linking social medias or mentioning social medias in the description because, you know, potential buyers could, you know, contact you via those means and try to complete transactions outside of eBay. I get that. And that wasn't my intention. My intention was to grow our social media following. And, you know, so I got on there and looked, and yeah, it's in the policy. It says, what is the policy? Buyers and sellers can't engage in any action with a user on the site designed to complete or facilitate a transaction outside of eBay. Share or request direct contact information prior to completing a sale. This includes name, addresses, phone number, email address, social media ID, instant messenger ID, instant messenger ID, and external website addresses like URLs, like, you know, links to your Linktree or to your Facebook page or whatever. So I get it, you know, and I went in and fixed it. And, you know, like I said, my intention wasn't to try to complete transactions outside of eBay. It was just try to grow our social media following. So, you know, I learned from it. I went back in, found it was probably 30 listings. I had to go in and take that out. So I'm all compliant now, you know, and, you know, I learned from it. I won't do it again. You know, like I said, you know, I don't want to jeopardize my account. You know, I enjoy selling on eBay. It's fun. You know, it provides a little bit of disposable income for my family. And, you know, I'm not going to certainly do things intentionally to jeopardize that. So it was a learning experience, you know, and, you know, you live and you learn and you move on. All right, the next thing we sold are 2 of these Fire King Jadeite restaurantware oval platters. In beautiful condition. I actually got a stack of 10 of these for $55 at a flea market. And 2 of these are going out of here at $74.99 plus shipping. So these are the last 2 I have. So we actually made a lot of money off of that buy. All right, next thing we sold is this Fire King Summerfield. I think that's what it's called, Summerfield round baking dish. It's basically new old stock. And what's really nice about this piece is it still has the original label inside. You just don't see that very often. I just think that label is really cool, really colorful. Next thing we sold is this cast iron string holder. That's pretty neat. It's in pretty good shape. There's some paint loss on it. But that's going out of here for $45 plus shipping. And that was sold on an offer. Buyer submitted an offer for $40. I countered at $45 and they accepted, so $5 into $45 is not bad. And the next item we sold is this Snap Ships Build to Battle, like knockoff Lego kit. If you watched our previous video, I mentioned that I got these at the flea market, and I'm really basically into these for like 50 cents a piece. So this one's going out of here at $9.99 plus shipping. The first couple I sold at $7.99, so I bumped the price up $2, and this one sold within the first day of listing it. So I think it might have 2 or 3 more of these to list, and then these will all be gone. And then this here's a pretty cool sale. This is Gettysburg jadeite uranium, like souvenir tumbler or glass. This is going out of here for $54.99 plus shipping. I'm into these for about, I would say $15-20 maybe, if that. Bought a bunch of them off of a guy at a flea market. Not of this exact one, but a bunch of Gettysburg souvenir pieces, different shapes and sizes. They all glow really nice under a black light. And then we did have one Mercari sale. Sweetpea's mom's been listing Squishmallows and Sweetpea's clothes that she's outgrown. Some shoes. I think there's some Starbucks tumblers and Dunkin' Donuts tumblers on there too. Nothing great, nothing high dollar listed on there. Just stuff that we've had around the house. So this is a Moana and Pua Squishmallow, new with tags, going out of here for $7.40 plus shipping. Not a huge profit, but it's better than trying to sell it at our yard sale for 50 cents or donating it to Goodwill or another thrift store. Alright, so that's going to wrap this video up, guys. If you like these videos, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like it, drop a comment below. Give me some ideas on what you want me to talk about or topics to cover about reselling, sourcing, life in general. I started this channel as an offshoot to our Sweetpea's Attic Picker channel, where we go out and source the things that we sell. So if you want to see that stuff, go over and check out our Sweetpea's Attic channel. It's pretty much the same logo. It's not hard to find. Just put in Sweetpea's Attic into search and our channel will pop up. We enjoy selling on eBay. Sweetpea's mom's into it now. She loves sourcing. She loves flea markets and yard sales, and she's not real big on auctions. She says they're kind of boring, but I enjoy auctions only because I know so many people there, because I've been going to them for so long. Sweetpea's getting into it. She's getting into collecting things of her own. She enjoys carnival glass and things like that. So it's just it's a family affair. It gives us something to do together as a family, buying and reselling. So, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.